Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit. Very glad that you're joining me this evening for our Tuesday meditational satsang. And tonight will be an exploring pain meditation. I'd like to start out with a couple of announcements. So this coming Friday will be our monthly Yoga Nidra meditation, and this will be a Yoga Nidra practice centered around the goddess Lakshmi. I thought this would be very appropriate for the upcoming new year. And then a week from today, we'll be doing a special meditation and puja for the winter solstice. So I hope you can join me for both of those, 7 p.m., either live on YouTube, and you're always welcome to join us at our temple, 1260 South Xavier Street in Denver, Colorado. So I'd like to start out with a little meditation. Truths, which are the foundational tenets of Buddhism, but really they're an application of older Vedic philosophy. And namaste to our friend Bryce. These truths concern awareness of pain, suffering as the nature of existence, the causes of pain, and how to live without it, or at least living our lives with it reduced. The truths are understood as the realization that led to the enlightenment of the Buddha, and these were the basis of his teachings. And again, these are ideas that are also present in Hinduism, though not necessarily as codified in that tradition. So the Four Noble Truths are, first one is life is suffering. All of life is suffering. Even pleasure is suffering because at some point you know it's going to end. The second of the Noble Truths, the cause of suffering is desires, especially those which are unfulfilled. The third, the end of suffering comes with the end of desire. And the fourth states that there is a path which leads us away from craving and therefore from suffering. So the path alluded to in the fourth truth is known as the Eightfold Path, and it serves as both a guide on the road to non-attachment and really is the road or the pathway itself. The precepts both inform a traveler on how to proceed and provide the way through spiritual discipline. So the 8 precepts are right outlook, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Those last 2 are especially connected to meditation. So by recognizing 4 noble truths and following the Eightfold Path, a person could find release from craving, from desires, and attachment to things in this world, and therefore liberate themselves from this endless cycle of suffering, which is in turn experienced through death and rebirth, and the cycle of birth, life, death, rebirth, the cycle that is known as samsara. So let's do a little bit of exploration around pain. And this can be inner pain, something physical, or could also be something on a mental level as well. So I invite you to get into a comfortable position and fix your body still. So it can be on your mat, maybe with a cushion behind your hips, or on a straight back chair. Really, you could even do this meditation on your back in Shavasana as well. So take a moment, find a comfortable position. It's going to be okay if you need to adjust in the course of the meditation, but try to find that position that's comfortable enough You won't have any need to do that. Maybe roll the shoulders back to open the chest. Let your eyes fall closed. And just focus on your breath for a while. Deep, slow, long yogic breaths. Completely filling and emptying the lungs. And just letting yourself focus on the simple act and sensations of breathing. And so now I invite you to find the first kind of pain that your mind directs you to. Obvious pain. And just focus on the first thing that manifests. This will be the best thing to work with at this time. This can be a pain that's psychological, painful memory, a physical pain. But just think about all the times that you've experienced this kind of pain. And then I invite you to ask yourself this question with the same level of curiosity that a child would have. Why must I feel these pains? Why is this pain happening? And then listen for an answer from your conscious psyche. Just honor whatever answer to that question comes up. And then next, I invite you to contemplate a second kind of pain. And we'll call this inevitable pain. So think of all the good things that you have now in this life. What are the things in your life that make you feel good, that you're proud of, that you value? And then ask yourself a very honest question. Can I actually hold on to any of them? And what will it feel like when these things, if and when these things are taken away from me? What would that loss or those losses feel like? What would it feel like to experience those kinds of losses? And now I invite you to go even deeper and ask yourself this question. Will anything I ever get in this life really make me happy? And again, just allow yourself to be aware of what answers arise as you ask yourself this question. And then I invite you to try and get in touch with our human tendency to be constantly dissatisfied with the things that we get in this life. Think about those times when the grass seemed greener somewhere else. And then think about a third kind of pain. And we'll call this ever present pain. That terrifying feeling of having no control in a situation and having nobody to turn to for help. Just remember a time or times when you felt both powerless and alone. And then after considering these things, do you know what pain will come to you next? And do you have any power to stop that pain when it comes? Just let yourself feel a bit of that deep down fear that lies just below the surface when we contemplate pain or the possibility of pain. Like those times when we feel like we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And now, take a deep breath. Let it go. And imagine yourself without any of these pains that we discussed. What would it look like to be free of pain? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? And what thoughts might come to mind as you think about this? Just imagine that your body is no longer made of substances that could be harmed. Your body is no longer flesh or blood or bone. But imagine having a body of pure light, bright and indestructible. A body that feels nothing but complete peace and exquisite bliss. And allow yourself to picture this for a while. Feel that you have this perfect light body, the most beautiful thing that you can imagine. And then imagine a mind free of every care or worry. A mind filled with peace and love for every being. A mind that can reach out to the very ends of space. And a mind that can know every existing thing in the universe. A mind which is one with the universe. A mind that looks into all these things and sees their true nature. And then imagine the power that you would have as this being, having the power to help and to heal all of the people that you love, all of those individuals who are closest to you. And having the power to help and heal sentient beings. And your actions being driven by compassion. And imagine that you can emanate this power in any form that feels right to you. Reaching out to all other beings and teaching them to become like you. And see yourself now sending out love and healing in different forms, in all different directions of space. Love and healing without any boundaries. And acknowledge that this is your future self, a spiritual body, a spiritual mind on a divine mission. It is your ultimate evolution, and it is what you are destined to become. So stay there still and quiet for a while, and just simply be that spirit of compassion and healing. And as you rest in stillness and silence, I invite you to make a promise to yourself to get out of pain and suffering and to reach that spiritual state of bliss. And the means to do this would be to think about those things that you're now ready to let go of. What can you release that will then ease your suffering and also the suffering of others? Are there outlooks or attitudes or expectations that might have helped you in the past? Maybe they were even necessary for your survival or sanity, but now you've outgrown these things. They no longer have a purpose in your life. Just take a moment and recognize those things that no longer serve you. And then simply with each out breath, just envision yourself letting them go, releasing them, letting them drop away like a load falling off of your shoulders. And for the suffering that you might be experiencing physically, what different habits or routines might help you relieve this? Are there things surrounding your physical health that you could let go of or change? And think about whether or not there are things that are just simply no longer worth pursuing. Are there other things that where your energies and efforts might be better utilized, both for yourself and for others, including again those who are closest to you? What desires are you ready to let drop away? And as they drop away, what things have a truer meaning for you? What are some healthier or more balanced goals or priorities? Just take some time with your eyes closed, continuing to deep breathing, to breathe deeply, and just consider those things. And so now I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation, keeping your eyes closed, just sitting quietly, breathing normally now. Just feeling the effects of our meditation tonight. and listening to the words I'm going to share with you right now. Can we really be truly free of desires? When you're hungry or thirsty, eating and drinking are certainly good things to do in that situation. Even the desire to help others or to be of service is a desire. The desire for enlightenment is also a desire. I've always thought myself that to be totally devoid of desire is really impossible, but we can mindfully choose and prioritize those desires that are better or healthier or more balanced for oneself or for others. Parallel to this would be something I learned when I was active in the local pagan community, a principle known as the Wiccan Rede. And it harm none, do what you will. And in reality, it's impossible to go through life without creating harm. Even if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you're still a plant predator, for example. To cure an infection, microorganisms are destroyed. So again, we can mindfully choose the path of least harm. We can choose the path of the most meaningful and the most important desires for ourselves, for those around us, and for humanity at large. And this is where our spiritual and meditative practice can help us. Here, we open ourselves to that divine presence within ourselves and allow it to guide us in thought, in word and deed. Likewise, we can recognize that same divinity in others, and coming to that compassionate realization that separation, the idea of me versus you or us versus them, is really just an illusion. So I invite you now to slowly bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center and listen to this final prayer. Divine Mother, accept our devotion. Let us offer you the gift that is ourselves. Let your thoughts become our thoughts. Let your words become our words. Let your actions be our actions. Guide us on the path ahead and teach us your wisdom. Open our eyes and help us to see that which is true and that which is truly important. And make us your instruments on this earth, Divine Mother. Make us your vehicles for change. Make us one with thee. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. I invite you now to take another deep and clearing breath. Slowly open your eyes, keeping a relaxed gaze. Take a moment and give gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice tonight. knowing you can always do this practice again and again as you have need. And thank you for joining me this evening. Blessings always. Namaste. Jai Ma. And thank you so very much. So I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. That would include Bryce and Jamie and somebody who left 3 rather interesting items in the chat. Thank you very much for sharing. And I invite you to carry this meditation with you through the night, through the days ahead. And I look forward to you joining me Friday for our Yoga Nidra practice. The Yoga Nidra practice, again, dedicated to the preserver, the goddess of good fortune, Ma Lakshmi. Until then, Jai Ma. Namaste. Thank you, and good night.